Hey, everybody, this is Keith Gleason, host of Indie Comics Relay, creator of the Mighty Mascots, and promoter for the Plastic City Comic Con. And I'm here with the April recommendations for indie comics. Before we get into that, just a reminder that Mighty Mascots number 10 and a triple-sized anniversary issue still available on in demand. And I will have an exciting announcement on all my social media tomorrow about a bonus thing that is so cool for all the backers. It's going to be like a chance to win some free art, basically. So check that out tomorrow. I'll be dropping, links on all the social media and probably an update on the campaign. So now is the best time to jump in and back this bad boy and check out all the breakfast brawler figures, everything that we've added to the campaign. Pinups, you name it, it's in this campaign. So check it out. It's gonna be an incredible issue, and I'm hoping to go to press with it ASAP. So hopefully by the weekend or early next week, I'll have it out. So we're moving right along. Also, check out Plastic City Comic Con happening on Saturday, August 23rd, where our guest list for the show is growing. And it's going to be a great one. This year is going to be awesome. If I can lock down the few guests that I'm circling around right now, it's going to be really exciting for the show, especially if you're a big comic fan. So check this out. Happening August 23rd, Saturday, $10 admission. As always, we try to keep our prices low so that we don't lock anybody out. All right. All right. So just a quick explanation for these videos. I started doing my orders with DCBS a couple of years ago. And as I was doing the orders, I see all these great indie books that no one really talks about or doesn't get a lot of coverage by the mainstream. And I thought, why not recommend some of these awesome books that I'm seeing while I do my orders? And now I don't highlight everything out there. It's usually just number ones that are coming up, but it's always books that I'm plan on getting either right away in my order or later on when they collect them into a graphic novel format. So, and like I said, it's not everything, but it's ones that are unique to me and stuff that I think looks cool and that I would like to recommend to other people, either because I know the creator or the story sounds interesting, things like that. So, all right, without further ado, let's tackle April's offerings. This month I have 6 different books to shout out, and I'm going to start with this one. This one is called Benjamin. Now, this is written by Ben H. Winters, art by Leo Max, and this is put out by Oni Press. And yeah, I don't know what's going on over there. Ever since they started doing the EC stuff, they've been having some pretty cool comics coming out of their gates. A lot of them that I've been collecting. I haven't bought any Oni in a long time, but I've been collecting a couple of their mini series. So yeah, this one looks cool too. This one is it's sort of inspired by like Scanner Darkly, Philip K. Dick kind of story, but it's basically about a writer who, made all these novels about this character, 40 plus novels, and ended up dying in the early 80s. But then suddenly he wakes up in this future, and it's a future that he often wrote about in his stories. So he's trying to figure out what's going on. Is this like, hallucination? Is this like imagination, or is this really happening? It's supposed to be 3 issues done in like a prestige format. It just sounds very cool, and I like the artwork already just from this cover. And the first thing I thought of, this sounds like Hunter Thompson kind of stuff, hallucinations and weird things happening, but it looks cool. So, and like I said, I've been enjoying Oni Press lately, and so I'd say check it out. So if you want to grab this, it looks like it's going to be 3 issues. This is the diamond code. That's the code you would give your retailer and tell them that you want this book so they order it for you. It's always great to pre-order too, because a lot of stores don't often carry every title. There's some great ones that do, but a lot of stores in my experience only carry Marvel, DC, and Image, and then some little bit of Dark Horse and stuff. So but most of them will order it for you. So just give them this diamond code, tell them you want Benjamin. All right, moving on to our second release. This is White House Robot Romance. This is written by Chip Zdarsky with artwork by Rachel Stott. And Distillery, which I've talked about a few times on this show. They are a company that releases their comics in like a magazine size format. And their whole deal is they want to create like a prestige experience with comics. So they've been doing really good. I buy, I don't buy all of their stuff, but I have bought a bunch of their releases, and they're really well done. In the bigger format, I gotta admit, I really like it. Really makes the artwork pop, and I don't know, just some of the stories. There's not really superhero stuff, but it's mostly, the kind of books Image is releasing now, where sometimes there's a hero involved, but not, it's not capes and cowls kind of thing. But Chip Zdarsky, he also did a book for Distillery called Time Waits that was really excellent. Twist on like the time travel formula. And this one sounds kind of neat, and some of the covers look really nice. I mean, look at this. I don't know if I can make this big, but yeah, they have. Oh, there's a preview here, so these are the covers. They really nice, and look at that wraparound cover, really cool. The plot is like, I guess, about two robots that work at the White House, so it must be like kind of a future story, and they kind of fall in love, and then something happens where one of them's about to be decommissioned, and then the other one has to make that choice whether I help them, and that kind of thing, and then causes basically a shitstorm with the government, because there's also an invasion happening and all this other stuff. But it sounds really cool, and they recommend it if you're a fan of Blade Runner, The Island, or We Stand on Guard. So there's some like examples to try, and Chip Zdarsky's been doing a great job with comics lately. So I recommend it. I think it's going to be a good one. So this one they didn't have on the Diamond website, so I'm not sure what the Diamond code is, but I'm assuming if you went into your retailer and told them that you want White House Robot Romance from Distillery, they could find it and order it for you. All right. So moving on to our next book. This is Tex Arcanum. This is written by Christopher Monfett, and artist is Miguel Martos. And this one caught my eye just from the image of the cover. I thought this was pretty cool. I was reading more about it, and they said it's like horror noir meets Elmore Leonard in a mystic Midwest. And it looks like the kind of book that, you could see Glenn Powell from Top Gun Maverick playing this character. It looks very cool. And it's supposed to be, they're describing it as a fusion between Yellowstone and Supernatural. So it has like a character that's trying to fight off ghostly forces and things like that. But it looks really cool. And I love these like kind of road traveling books, where there's a character, like the truck looks really cool and everything. So I think this one's going to be fun. So I don't know if it's more than one issue or if it's an ongoing, here it is, 1 of 4. So it's a 4-issue miniseries. So you only have to commit to the 4 issues. So if you want to order Tex Arcanum, this is the Diamond code. You would give your retailer and let them know that ICR sent you. All right, moving on to our next release. This is Cthulhu is Hard to Spell graphic novel volume 1. Now, this is an anthology series put out by a new company called Laguna Studios. But the reason I mention this is actually a anthology that's been out for a while. And my co-host on Indie Comics Relay, Johnny, has a 3-part story that goes in every volume of Cthulhu is Hard to Spell. So they put out 3 hardcovers, and from what I'm seeing with this studio, they're going to take all 3 of the hardcovers and break them down into 6 smaller graphic novels, so that you don't have to pay $50 for every volume. You pay a smaller rate of $25, which I think is a smart, and cost conscious, for people who are looking. So Johnny, and I know I did lettering for one of Johnny's stories. It must have been the third part, I think. So we don't they list various as writers and artists here, so we don't know if Johnny's story's in this volume, but it's sure to be in one of the volumes coming up out of the 6. And he has 3 stories, so it's probably going to be, and it could be in this one, it could be in the next one, that kind of thing. But it's if you like Cthulhu, if you like Lovecraft, this is really cool, and it's all kinds of stories about Cthulhu, horror, funny, kitty, the stories are all over the place. So check it out. If you want to order Cthulhu is Hard to Spell, this is the diamond code that you give your retailer, and let them know that we sent you. All right, 2 more left to go. Our next one is News from the Fallout. Now, this is a new mini series from Image Comics. I believe it's 6 issues. And this is written by Chris Condon, and the artwork is by Jeffrey Allen Love. Now, the reason I mention this one is I'm a fan of Chris Condon. He's the writer on That Texas Blood, and he's also currently doing Ultimate Wolverine. And this looks really cool. It looks like it's one of those post-apocalyptic future dark sci-fi kind of horror stories where, they unleash some kind of contaminant. It says here in the description, they release it into the atmosphere and it turns people rotten, which I'm kind of curious about what that means. If they're like zombies or if it turns them into evil people or something, So I guess we'll have to read it to find out. But I saw a review online saying the artwork is very moody and haunting looking and really complements the script. And so hopefully it's really good. So I got to admit, I've been enjoying all of Chris Condon's stuff. So I think it'll be a lot of fun. So I'm definitely going to probably get this one in the graphic novel format since it's only 6 issues. But if you're a floppy fan, this is the diamond code that you would give your retailer and get it in floppies. All right. All right. Our final one is The Local Man Deluxe hardcover. This is from Image Comics. This is written and drawn by both Tony Fleeks and Tim Seeley. Now, I've been a fan of these 2 guys and this comic for a while. I did a review on it, and I think I even recommended it in an older ICR recommends video. But the reason I bring this up, this is the entire series and all the one-shots collected into one book. So if you missed out on Local Man, this is the best way to grab it. You'll have everything. And this book is such a love letter to 90s Image that I'm sad that it's over. Like I want more. Hopefully it comes back at some point, but it's really good. It's about a guy that used to be on a Image team that's kind of like Young Blood or something like that. I think it was called Third Gen, and his name is Crossjack, and he basically has to return home because he's disgraced for some reason that you don't know about right away, and he has to kind of start over at his 40s in his midtown, and he's kind of a loser, and he has to just kind of, everyone hates him, and it's really good. And then some murders start happening in the city and things like that. So and his power is he's got accuracy, kind of like Bullseye. He can throw stuff with accuracy, use any weapon to his abilities, things like that. But man, if you love early Image, you got to check out this book. And the best thing about it is they had backup stories, which I'm sure are in this volume, that were done in an old Image style. So with the over rendering and the lots of the hatch marks and all that stuff. So really drawn in like that Rob Liefeld, Jim Lee style, which everyone remembers from the 90s. But I highly recommend. The whole thing is $60, but I bet you can find that discounted somewhere. Totally worth it in my eyes. And I actually may rebuy it just so I have the volume and then I don't have to pull up my singles anymore, so I just have it all in one place. So highest recommendation on the Local Man hardcover. Good stuff. All right, so that is our recommendations for April 2025. I hope you guys enjoy these videos. Like, subscribe, share the channel, share the videos. We appreciate that. Join us every other Monday night for our live streams. Me, Johnny, Harry get together with all kinds of indie creators, talk shop, have a little fun. Sometimes get sidetracked on the nostalgia stuff. And then also keep our eye out on May 19th. We're going to be doing another one of our writer roundtable episodes. It's going to be really fun. We're coming up with more funny and fun questions for this one. And Johnny's going to possibly do a writing game with everybody on the panel. So that's going to be a great one. That's coming up May 19th. But all right, everybody, thank you for joining me as always. And most importantly, read some comics. All right, we'll talk to you later. Have a great week. Bye.